Okay, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome back to day 6 of TryHackMe's Advent of Cyber event. I am Djax. Thank you for joining. Let's see. I know I said it was going to be about 5:15, but figure I'd get started a little early. So we'll give it a couple more minutes. Let's just do this. Okay. All right, I'm just making sure that everything is good here. All right, so we'll edit that part out a little later. So thank you for everybody for joining. Like I said, if you've been here before in the last week or so, we've been doing TryHackMe's Advent of Cyber and working on the different challenges that they have and getting them completed. So I've been doing a combination of either streaming them or pre-recording them and then putting them out. But today, figured this was going to be a more challenging one. So I figured I should probably do a live stream just in case anybody had any questions. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So we're just going to hop right into it. If you guys have any questions, just let me know in the comments. Butters says LFI, LFI. Yeah, yep, we're going to be tackling LFI with a little bit of remote code execution with some PHP filters. And like I said, I haven't done it yet. I haven't looked at it really. I've seen a couple comments on it, obviously, with this right here. So I haven't watched any videos. I joined JB's live stream a little earlier today just to kind of, hop in and show a little bit of support. But like I said, other than that, I haven't really done too much research on this because, like I said, I wanted to try to keep it as honest as possible. So, with that being said, let's just get right into it. Hold on. Umar says stuck on the last question, sad face. Well, Umar, I hope we'll be able to get that figured out today. So, thanks for joining. Again, everybody who hasn't done so already, please remember to like the video, share, and subscribe to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. This way, you'll be notified when I go live every day, whether it's a live stream, a pre-recorded video, a how-to video, or my show every Thursday that I host, InfoSec Unplugged, where I interview different people. This Thursday, I'll have Dara J. Footman on, and we're going to be talking about getting into cybersecurity and dealing with some of the misinformation and just flat out lies that some people put out there that kind of discourage people. So it'll be a great conversation. So make sure you tune into that. But today is Monday, it's not Thursday, and we're going to try to focus on this TryHackMe stuff. So again, if you have any questions in the comments, let me know, and we'll just go ahead and get started. All right, cool. So I already went ahead and started up my machine and my attack machine. This way we didn't have to wait, the couple minutes to do it. I'm going to probably jump around a little. I probably won't read this whole thing. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Looks like a lot. And because it looks like a lot, I don't want to read it and then have to come back and read it again and come back. And so we'll just go ahead. Let me know if, like I said, if the quality of the stream starts to look a little funky or whatever, just let me know. And we'll cut it right there and try to figure out what's going on. All right, so let's read the story. During a routine security audit before the incident, McSkitty discovered some recovery passwords on an old server. She created a ticket to decommission the server to reduce the security vulnerability. The elf assigned to fix this vulnerability kept pushing off the task, and this never got done. Luckily, some of those recovery keys can be used to save some systems. Unfortunately, the only way to access the server is through an old web application. See, See if you can pull out those recovery keys and help McSkitty with her pursuit to save Christmas. Um, Whoever really wrote these seriously must have been in like a real world environment or like a corporate environment, and they have been burned out and pissed off by dealing with a lot of people. I'm noticing, because this is the stuff that happens in real life. You find vulnerabilities, you find unpatched things, you find security misconfigurations, and you go and you tell your development team, you go and you tell whoever, and they say they're going to fix it and then they never do, or you realize 6 months after your pen test that vulnerabilities are still existing there, or they don't want to update it because they're scared that it might break something else. Rather than try to figure out how to fix the issue, they just kind of just let it sit. So again, kudos to the writer. It does have a real world feel, even though we're talking about Christmas elves. In this task, we will be covering the basics of local file inclusion vulnerability, including how to identify and test for LFI. We will also show the impact of a LFI vulnerability by exploiting it. Let's begin by starting the machine attached to the task. So like I said, we already started that. So what is an LFI vulnerability? LFI vulnerability is found in various web applications. As an example, in the PHP, the following functions include this kind of vulnerability. So yeah, you see like the PHP, like the include, require, or include once and require once. Usually, if there is a vulnerability there, these four these four endpoints or parameters or whatever you want to call them, uh, those would be the ones that people would usually look for on a pen testing or malicious attack side. It is a web application vulnerability that allows the attacker to include and read local files on the server. These files could contain sensitive data such as cryptographic keys, databases that contain passwords, and other private data. An LFI vulnerability happens due to a developer's lack of security awareness. In some cases, developers need to include the content of other local files within a specific range. Suppose a developer includes files without proper input validation. In that case, LFI vulnerability will exist, as the developer should never trust user input and keep all inputs from users to be filtered and sanitized. The main issue of these vulnerabilities is the lack of input validation, in which the user inputs are not sanitized or validated and the user controls them. So yeah, input validation is major. Input validation and sanitization is a major cause for a lot of vulnerabilities, whether it's LFI, RCE, SQL injection, cross-site scripting. A lot of the more popular vulnerabilities is because of a lack of input validation or sanitization. Excuse me. I don't have my water down here. Okay, what is the risk of an LFI? Once you find an LFI vulnerability, it is possible to read sensitive data if you have readable permissions on files. Thus, one of the most significant risks is leaking sensitive data accessed by a regular user. Also, in some cases, an LFI vulnerability could be chained to perform remote code execution on the server. If we can inject or write to a file on the system, we take advantage of LFI to get RCE. In this task, we prepared a web application with LFI vulnerability and a possible way to get RCE. We'll be looking at this web application later. So let's just read it. How we doing in the chat? We still good? Like I said, Umar, we're gonna get to it. Like I said, I just want to kind of read it and make sure we're good. Okay, so identifying and testing. Usually attackers are interested in HTTP parameters to manipulate the input and inject attack payloads to see how the application behaves. In general, if you're looking for an entry point to test web application attack types, then it is important to use the web app and check its functionalities. An entry point could be an HTTP get or post parameter that passes an argument to or data to the web application to perform specific operation. Parameters are query parameter strings attached to URLs that could be tested to retrieve data or perform actions based on user input. The following graph explains and breaks down the essential parts of URLs. Yeah, for me, from a pen tester's perspective, anytime I see any type of parameter or I see anything that looks like it's pointing to a file, that's a dead giveaway to test and fuzz for any type of LFI or RCE vulnerability. As soon as I see, like, if you look here where it says HTTP web app.thm get PHP file user, the moment I see this question mark, or like as soon as I see the parameter, so question mark or whatever the parameter is, and then the equal sign, I jump immediately to my notepad to make notes of this. And then as soon as I'm done mapping out what I'm doing, I'm jumping on this immediately to try to throw different payloads at it to see what comes back. That and input boxes where you can search for certain things or look for certain items. Like if you're searching a database or something, anytime I see those, I'm right on top of those. So those can be quick wins if they're not configured properly. For example, parameters are used with Google searching, where GET requests pass user input to the search engine. So you see here google.com search, and then here's the parameter Q equals TryHackMe. If you're not familiar with the topic, you can view How the Web Works module to understand this concept. Once you find the entry point, we need to understand how this data could be processed within the application. After this point, you can start testing for certain vulnerability types using manual or automated tools. The following is an example of PHP code that is vulnerable to LFI. So you see the PHP include, and then here's the get file. Yeah, if you see that, like that right here is usually where it tells you, okay, so get file, great. I'm going to get the Etsy password file, or I'm going to try to get the Etsy shadow file, or I'm going to go look at the host file, or I'm going to look at whatever, what version is running. So there's different things. And again, it looks like I'm jumping ahead. PHP code above uses a get request via the URL parameter file to include the file on the page. The request can be made by sending the following HTTP request. So this is the same request here. And then there's a parameter to welcome TXT. So that's that file right there to load the content of welcome TXT file that exists in the same directory. In addition, other entry points can be used depending on the web application and where can consider the user agent cookies session and other HTTP headers. You guys following so far? Am I losing you guys? Let me know if you guys are good in the comments. Okay, cool. So now that we found our entry point, let's start testing for reading local files related to operating systems. The following are some Linux files that have sensitive information. So issue, password, shadow, group. So these two right here, for Linux files, that would be your password and your shadow files. So these are your password files, and this is like your password hashes. So you need to get both of these files here to basically decrypt them and get the passwords or to crack them offline. You never want to crack on the actual system. Let's start with basic LFI. Once we identify the entry point or the HTTP parameter, we can begin testing and including operating system files. Oh, GMT, so might go to bed and watch later. If you do, like I said, just make sure check back in. We can also try. Okay, so there's a direct file inclusion where this is just pointing directly to it. You can use 2 dots to get out of the current directory. So then, and the number of dots that varies on the The number of dots varies depending on the web app directory. And then you can bypass filters by using multiple dots, 4 dots, and then the dash because sometimes this will be this will be filtered, a regular dot slash. So if you do dot slash, sometimes that's not filtered. You can view the topic in the file inclusion room. So again, here are some examples of different LFI payloads. So you see this one here, it's encoded. This one here has the 4 dots and the slashes. This one here has the null byte, which is a good one to remember. And then this is your typical. Okay, so now that once you successfully viewed, you can test for other files. Now start the attached machine. Okay, we did that. So now exploiting LFI, exploiting LFI sometimes is limited and depends on the web application server configuration. Besides reading sensitive data. Hey, D Train, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Appreciate Umar. Appreciate that, sir. Let me just see where we at. Okay, yeah. Thanks for joining. We're just going through once again. We're going through day 6 of the TryHackMe Advent of Cyber. Again, I switch it up. I try to do live streams or I try to do pre-recorded, but because this one looks like it was going to be a bigger challenge today, I figured I would do the live stream just in case anybody had any questions. So again, if you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, share the link out, comment on you could comment here or comment in the video itself, and click the bell for notifications so you can be notified when I go live or when I do my show, InfoSec Unplugged, or when I do any other streams or uploads like this. Again, it helps the algorithm. We're trying to boost up the cybersecurity professionals' YouTube channels, algorithms, so we can get that content out there. All right, PHP Filter. PHP Filter wrapper is used in LFI to read actual PHP page content. In typical cases, it is not possible to read a PHP file's content via LFI because PHP files get executed and never show in the existing code. However, we can use the PHP filter to display the content of PHP files in other encoding formats such as base64 or ROT13. So typically whenever you try to execute PHP code, it happens on the back end, it happens on the server side, so you wouldn't see it. And if you try to do it and it was just like, plain text, you won't see that won't return to you. So what you do with a PHP filter is if you encode it, usually in base64, then you'll be able to see whatever command, whatever response that you're looking for. So let's first try reading the Etsy file by using the PHP filter. So here you see they do the filter, resource, and Etsy password. Now try to read the index PHP file using a PHP filter, and we get errors because the web server tries to execute in PHP code. To avoid this, we use a PHP filter while base64 or ROT13 encoding, and the output file is as follows. So if you look here, we'll just focus on the base64. So you see file equals PHP filter convert base64 encode resource Etsy password. And then we will try to use base64 for our scenario. As a result, we get the base64. So this is the basically the key of what you're trying to get in the Etsy password file. And it's in base64, so then you'd have to read it. You'd have to go to your command prompt, or you could use a tool like CyberChef, which we used the other day, to decode the base64. And actually, I think we'll do both of those. I'll show you from the command line, and I'll show you from CyberChef. PHP wrappers is used to include raw plain text data or base64 encoded. It is used to include images on the current page and is used at LFI exploit. So let's try the base64 encode. So you encode it here, and then you can decode it using the same command, but instead of doing nothing here was just base64 and then the key. Now it's base64 decode AOC is fun. Wait, echo base64 decode. Yeah, and then it comes back. All right. Now we can include base64 data in our vulnerable page as follows. And okay, so now as a result, great. Okay, so we're just gonna jump down. Let's see, LFI to RCE via log files. Okay, so we're gonna come back to this. Well, where are we? Yeah, let's come back to this because I don't want to get too far ahead. So let's look at what we have here. So there's a few more. Looks like a couple things here. All right, so we're gonna start the VM, and let's get right to the fun stuff. So we're gonna scroll back up. Again, if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. And I got to do one of my little sounds. All right, so we are now starting the challenge itself. Okay, so our IP address is 10.10.158.107. So we're going to wait for this to load up. 10.10.158.107. And then let's go back down here just in case. All right, so we're going to go, come on. It's a little, looks like it's a little slow today. 10.10. Yeah, it's definitely a little slow. 10.10.158.107. Okay, so you hear now we're at the control system, McSys admin control system. Note from McSys control system, access to this web app is limited. Welcome guest, server has sensitive information. Note all actions to this server are logged. You cannot access this page, you need to log in. Okay, so if you hit the login page, that's your login page. We don't have any credentials yet. So let's back up and let's look again. So if you see here, ERR equals error.txt, that's our jump point. That's where this is the parameter that we're going to attack. And it's pointing at a error.txt. So that already tells me that let's try this real quick. Etsy.password. And yes, we are vulnerable to LFI. So let's just scroll down here. Let's see exactly what they want. So deploy the attached VM. What is the entry point? So that was ERR. And then it wanted to get the, oh, look, I have a new streak. This, I haven't done these streaks in a while, so I get excited when I see them. Okay, the entry point to perform LFI to read the Etsy flag. So we did Etsy password. So now let's do Etsy flag. And we have our flag right here. If we can, this machine is going to irritate me. So we're going to copy it, and then we have to move it over to our clipboard and then copy it in our clipboard so we can paste it over here. We submit that. All right. So now we need to use the PHP filter technique to read the source code of the index PHP file. What is the flag variable's value? Okay. So now we need to go back up to where we were looking at before with the PHP filters. And like I said, we're going to focus on this right here. So we're going to say resource. And that was in the index PHP, right? Okay, so how are we doing in the comments? Okay, we're still good. All right, great. So, so we need to go here. let's close that out. Paste. Oh, crap. My fault. I forgot. I need to copy it and then put it in my clipboard. Okay, so and then it was index.php, right? So we'll go from our jump point. Server has a warning. Include PHP file. Index.php. Oh, hold on. Index.php. Too many parameters. Damn it. All right, let's refresh it. And then I think we need to go. There we go. All right. This thing is moving. This page is moving really slow. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, all right. Running into an issue because I'm trying to do the file inclusion. I'm trying to do the filters. Okay, so that's our URL. Page.php. We're going to paste this, but then we want it to say, we want to say equals index.php. Now we hit enter. I did that before. Okay, maybe I did it wrong. All right, so sorry about that. Yeah, Umar, I apologize, man. I ran into some issues. It was I thought I did that before where I tried to use the same jump point, but it didn't work. So I thought maybe I did something wrong. But it looks like maybe I put in the wrong command. That happens. My bad. Man, look, Umar, get some rest. Like I said, That's the thing with the live stream. It'll be here tomorrow. It'll be here tomorrow, sir. So if you need to break off, go ahead and do that. So now we have our, like I said, and this VM is just the worst right now. All right, so rather than trying to bring up a, oh my gosh, if you don't, please. I was using file instead of the error point, but I used the error point the first time and it didn't like it. So like I said, maybe it was something I did wrong. And then, like I said, this thing is just dragging. Like it's not. I can't even. Oh boy. Okay. Copy that. Go to CyberChef. Let's try to make up for some lost time now. And then we're gonna go from base 64. And now this is basically all like the PHP stuff. And now actually we have a couple interesting things in here. So it looks like here's our flag, but it also says includes creds.php. So we're gonna come back to that. So we're gonna leave this page open. We're gonna clear this, paste it. Oh my gosh. We're going to copy. Now it's here. We're gonna copy, and then we're gonna put in our flag. Okay. McSkitty forgot his login credential. Can you help him log in order to recover one of the server's passwords? Okay, so now we have the same, we're going to using the same jump point. We're going to do, we're not going to change a single thing since it's working, but we're going to copy this. We're going to go over, and then for our resource, we're not saying index.php. We're pasting includes php.creds. Now we have this base 64. Come on, thank you. That we're going to copy, come back, get our clipboard. Okay, we'll go to CyberChef. Let's delete this stuff. Thank you. We'll hit paste. Again, from base 64. So now we have our username of Chaos Rain. What's going on? We're doing TryHackMe's Advent of Cyber Day 6, doing some PHP and LFI and RCE. Ran into a little issue earlier. Thought I was doing something. I thought I did it the right way, and instead, the follies of live streaming. All right, so open up this. So the username is McSkitty, and it looks like the colon, and then the password. Not to mention the VM is extremely slow today. Like I okay, we're gonna copy that. We're gonna copy from here, and awesome, great. Okay, user credentials to log in into the web application. Help McSkitty recover the server's password. What is the password of the flag THM AOC server? So now we're just going to log in. Close this out. Log in. Username, Skitty. Password. Sign in. Do not save. What is the user flag THM? See, so these are our logs. Let's go home. Okay. Password recovery. Okay, so here's the flag for the password recovery. Move it over. Copy it. Paste here. Hit submit. All right, so the web application logs all user requests, and only authorized users can read the log file. Use Lfi to gain RCE via the log page. What is the host name of the web server? The log file location is at. Okay, so this is, I believe, where we need to look at the RCE via log. Okay, so let's close out of here. Let's scroll back up real quick. All right, Lfi to RCE via log files. It's also called a log poisoning attack. It is a technique used to gain remote command execution on a web server. Let's just make sure we're good in the chat here. All right. The attacker needs to include a malicious payload into services such as Apache, SSH, etc. The Lfi vulnerability is used to request a page that includes a malicious payload. Exploiting this kind of attack depends on various factors, including the design of the web application and the server configurations. Thus, it requires enumerations, analysis, and an understanding of how the web application works. For example, a user can include a malicious payload in an Apache log file via user agent or other HTTP headers. In this task, we provided a vulnerable web application that logs the user's requests. Okay, and we can see that the log page stores four different headers, including username, IP address, user agent, and the visited page. The user agent is an HTTP header that includes the user's browser's information, let servers identify the type of operating system, vendor, and version. The user agent is one of HTTP headers that the user can control. Therefore, in order to get RCE, you need to include PHP code into the user agent and send a request to the log file using the Lfi execute in the browser. Now let's test if we can include the user agent value into the web application. Okay, so we'll just copy this whole command here. Are we jumping? I'll just make sure we're not jumping ahead. What was the question again? The web application logs all user requests and only authorized. Use Lfi to gain RCE via the log page. What is the host name of the web server? I thought I didn't need to do that part yet. So we need to bring that up, and then we're just going to hit paste. Okay. I'm going to reset the logs and just show you again what just happened here. I forgot for a second. So we ran this curl command just to test that we can inject the user agent. So we ran curl a and dash capital A's is the the flag to use a user agent, and then we put this is a testing, and then we sent it to our web address, our web application, so 10.10.58.107. And then what we did was once we put that in there, you see it came back with a bunch of HTTP. So this is just the response from the web application. So now if we go home and we check our log access, we should see one that says this is a testing, which is right here. We're actually going to do another one. So going back. So again, we just did a curl command. I'm going to do a curl command and add, please like and subscribe. It'd be nice if I could spell properly. So please like and subscribe. We're going to copy that, close this out, and then we're going to paste it again. All right, and now when we hit refresh, you'll see there it is again, guest 172.172.17. So it's IP address. This is our header, our user agent, and then this is the user and the information. So that's the old one. Okay, so now we're going to input this command here. So we're going to go copy, and then we're going to just read real quick what it's doing. Okay, so we were able to include the user agent value we wanted. Now let's inject PHP code into the user agent using browser terminals or web proxies such as Burp Suite. In this task, we will show you how to use it. Include the code using the terminal as follows. So instead of using Burp Suite, they're just showing you how to do it using the curl command. So now let's just go ahead. We're going to copy that, clear that out. Oh, bring up our terminal. We're going to hit paste. We're going to hit paste. Oh boy. Copy or cut. Paste. Okay, so you're there. Paste. Okay. So now if you look at again, please like and subscribe. Okay, so you see I did it here 3 times. So log in PHP. So now if we back up here, back out. Okay. So now we just need to call the log file. And that was that access log file that I tried to bring up before. So let's just do this. Copy. Let's go back to the home page. So that includes logs, apps, app access underscore log. Okay, cool. So let's back up. Oh man, this VM is not. It's not cooperating with me today. Oh boy. Oh, wait. Okay. Let's recap real quick. So we used LFI. Well, we found the weakness of the LFI vulnerability in the ERR parameter. We used that entry point to get the flag from Etsy flag after we figured out we could read the Etsy password file. After that, we did the index PHP. We encoded it in base 64, got it pushed out to us, and then we turned around and decoded it to get the second flag. After that, we needed to get the login credentials from Xkitty. We found the login credential PHP path that was in the same file as this flag here, which we got the Xkitty is awesome. We then logged into the credentials, checked the logs, and we were able to get the second flag. We recovered the password, which we were able to get the second flag. And now the web application is logging all the user requests and only allows authorized users to read the log file. We had to use the LFI to gain an RCE. So what we ended up having to do is we went back up here. We ran these curl commands to change our user agent to this PHP info command, which then allowed us to execute RCE, which we then used to run to look up these this file here, this PHP file in the log access. So now the next question is what is the host name of the web server? That looks like it is Lfi. Looks like this will be it right here. So we're going to open up our clipboard, submit, and we got that there. And now we have a bonus question. The current PHP configuration stores the PHP session files in the /temp folder. Use LFI to call the PHP session file to get your PHP code executed. Okay, so I think this is what this is up here. So to find the PHP session file name, let's scroll up a little bit more. LFI to RCE via PHP sessions follows the same concept of the log poisoning technique. PHP sessions are files within the operating system that store temporary information. After the user logs out of the web application, the PHP session information will be deleted. This technique requires enumeration to read the PHP configuration file first, and then we know where the PHP sessions files are. Then we include PHP code into the session and finally call the file via LFI. PHP stores session data in files within the system in different locations based on the configuration. The following are some of the common locations that PHP is stored in. So you have your Windows temp, you have your Linux temp file, you have your varlib PHP, and then the other varlib PHP session. Once the attacker finds where the PHP stores the session file and can control the value of their session, the attacker can use it to chain an exploit with LFI to gain remote command execution. If we enumerate and read the PHP configuration of the vulnerable web application we provided, we can see it stores PHP sessions into the /temp directory. It also stores the value of the username into the session, even if you are not logged in, since this value is needed to the developer to use the log function. We inject the PHP code into the user section in the following figure stored in the PHP session file. Okay, so it looks like they put PHP info in the actual username itself. To find the PHP session file name, default uses the command session ID. Okay, so that looks like you have to bring that up in. Okay. As a result, we will have the PHP code that we injected in the username. Okay, so we need to first run this here. So let's go here. We'll go home, log in. Jeez, I'm forgetting the clipboard. Okay. And then we'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Enter. Valid username. That's fine. And then from there, we need to get our cookie. We need to get our session cookie. So we're going to hit F12, which we know certain governors in Missouri do not like hitting F12 because F12 is considered hacking, and that's a big, big secret. So we're just going to say F12, and then we're going to go, let's see, it's not network. I think it was the same one we used the other day, so it was application. So application. Okay, application. Oh boy. Okay. Let's see what happens when we log in with the real password, because it's not giving me that information. So paste and copy, move, paste, sign in. It's more than one way to skin a cat. Trying to figure out why that's not working, but it doesn't matter. I guess we still got the cookie, right? Okay, so now we need to combine that with this information here. Okay. And then we need to go back to, let's close this out. We need to go back to where we were having the issue. Guess we have to log out. Paste this whole thing. All right, hold on. Let's just make sure that we're good. All right, okay. So now we're just gonna go back and paste. We're gonna go. Okay, so now let's try to log back in as McSkitty. skitty. Slash temp files. What the hell? Okay. Let's try this again. F12 over here. F12. I'm working on it, Ty. I'm working on it. All right. So now we need to do from that jump point Okay, so now we're going to copy that. Go back here to our jump point. Paste. Go. What happened? Okay. Okay, so we need let's do this again. Oh crap. session ID. Okay. So we're going to say copy that, right? Now let's just move this over here. Hit F12. Give me my cookie. I need my cookie. Right? Underscore. Okay, great. And now let's go back and grab that session underscore. Okay, so we need to grab all of that there. Copy. Let's just close this out. Let's remove all of this. Move all of this. 10, 10, okay. Index.php error. That's our jump point. Enter. And there we go. Okay, so I don't know what happened there. Maybe I had to put it on this one to do better reading. All right, so our username no answer needed. Okay, well, whew, I think I need to. I had to double it up. Okay, so I don't know what was happening there, but we got it. So, quick recap. Again, we used Lfi. Well, we determined that the vulnerable entry point was the ERR parameter. We use Lfi to get the Etsy password file, which then we use to get the Etsy flag file, which we used to do, and we got here. Then we use the PHP filter to encode the information in base 64, and then we use CyberChef to decode it to get the second flag. Once we were able to do that, when we decoded that base 64 data, we were able to get McSkitty's username and password, and then we were also able to get a second credential file. So we used that to recover, to go to the password recovery and get this second flag here. Then we used some Lfi with RCE to poison the log files to get this information here from the PHP page, which was the server name for our server. And then it said the current PHP configure stores PHP session files in the /temp folder. And then we use Lfi. So we injected this PHP command into the username, grabbed our session token, which I did before, and then attempted to log in, ran into some issues, but we were able to get it, and the username is 19. So that was a painful one. Um, haven't done LFI and RCEs in a long time, but that was an interesting one. It definitely can be frustrating. Maybe I needed to reboot my computer or something. I don't know. Actually, I'm not even gonna say it was my computer. Looked like the stuff was a little slow. There was a lot of different things that were just kind of frustrating me there, but we got it done. Um, it wasn't pretty. It definitely wasn't quick, but persistence always prevails. Again, thank you for joining. If you like what I'm doing, please remember to like, subscribe, uh, click the bell for notifications, and tune in on Thursdays for InfoSec Unplugged. And I will see you guys tomorrow with either a pre-recorded video or another live stream. Hopefully, it won't be as painful as this one, but we're gonna get through it. Like I said, the goal is to get all 25 down and knock out those prizes for TryHackMe. So you guys have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow.